Hey guys, so I just harvested about 2.5, almost 3 pounds of golden oyster mushroom from 2 blocks, and I definitely think this is better than some of my previous harvests. You can kind of see that the golden oyster mushrooms have this very nice rounded caps. This whole thing is from the same block over here, and so one of my concerns is that I'm making the openings too big, so too many pins are forming, and then that makes it so that there's a larger number of smaller heads. When I think that if the size was slightly larger, it would be a little bit more beautiful. So I think that's one thing that I'm still trying to figure out like what the right pinning sizes are. And over here, I'm not really sure why these caps are a little bit malformed. They should look more like this over here, is my understanding. And so I don't really know why these squiggly lines developed. Yesterday, I was having a problem with my fan, and it wasn't running for like maybe half a day. So I'm wondering if the lack of like fresh air exchange kind of impacted the development of this one and led it to have these like squiggly lines at the top. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. And I also harvested about a pound of blue. Yeah, the blue is a lot more dense than the yellow. The yellow looks very big, but then when you kind of look underneath, you can see that the stems are very thin. And I think it's just a characteristic of the golden oysters that the stems are a little bit more thin than the blue. The blue also is looking okay. I think this is an acceptable quality and people would enjoy looking at it and eating it. But I also am a little bit confused as to why the caps are not more rounded. I'm wondering if I harvested a little bit too early, but I'm trying to harvest it a little bit on the earlier side so that the caps don't like become large and flatten out, because I had a problem a couple days ago where it just grew tremendously overnight and then I harvested it too late once the caps had flattened. So that's one problem that I'm dealing with. So yeah, I'm grateful that these are coming out at all, and that I'm able to deal with the problem of harvest timing right now. So um, yeah, but let's take a tour of the basement and kind of see maybe a few more updates as to what's been going on. This is rye pellets. I plan on making grain spot in house, or trying to do that using the agar method and then inoculating grain soon. So that's why that's there. Uh, the basement's a lot brighter because I have fixed these like LED lights to the top. And if we take a look inside the grow tent, this one is fully set up. So I have like the, fan over there, the humidifier pumping mist in, and you just have these golden oyster mushrooms pinning and coming out. And so you can see these beautiful clusters. I'm kind of wondering if I should even like pick some of the clusters to see what happens if I only let a few of them develop, whether it would push nutrients to the remaining ones there kind of, and then make a smaller number of larger caps. These ones I just harvested from this yesterday, this for just now, this just now, this just now, and these two were yesterday's. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do once I harvest, if I'm just supposed to leave it in the fruiting room until it starts to reorganize and then push out another flush. But I'm just leaving it for now. I have more fruiting over here as well. And so, yeah, the golden oysters really seem to be doing a lot better than the blue oysters. The temperatures are on like 65 to 70 these days, and so that's really at the top end of what the fruiting acceptable pinning and fruiting is for the golden blue oysters. So these are all blue oysters, but I just really haven't had any luck with the formation of the primordia, and so I actually have a bunch of blue oyster in a fridge right now. I'm trying to use like the cold shock method of getting it to fruit, but I don't know whether that'll be successful. I harvested blue from this, I harvested blue from this, so this is just waiting for like a second pin, and then, wow, yeah. So you can kind of see that the blue is starting to pin here. So after about a week, it's starting to pin. So maybe I don't have too much to be worried about. It is true though that the yellows seem to be progressing a lot more quickly. So one thing that I'm picking up on is growing the species that's right for the temperature range you have is critical. And then these are starting to pin, these are starting to pin. So overall, I'm not too worried. It seems like they're growing out at least. Yields are not optimal. They're not at like the 2-3 pounds that they kind of quote unquote should be at given the optimal yields. But there's probably a number of things I'm doing wrong right now as well. Over here, we've got the humidifier set up. So I had like an accident the other day where I almost flooded my basement. So I just like kind of created this little safety system where if the water overflows, it'll run through this container and then tube, and then this tube takes you to the sump pump, and then I'm almost at the point where I am finished setting up the second fruiting tent. So by the end of this week, I should have this set up, and then this should be working as well. And then over here at the end, we got the colonization room. So my later batches have been colonizing very nicely, and these should almost be all ready to go into the fruiting room. I mean, the CO2 meter and yeah, the lines being Primordia are already starting to form. So these should honestly probably go into like the fruiting room today. I might actually do that today, yeah. So it's been about 13 days since these were in here, so these should be ready to put into the fruiting room. And then you kind of see the pink hue appearing as well. So these are probably ready to start fruiting as well. So wow, I got a lot to do. But that's basically the whole cycle. I mean, I got the colonization going, I got the fruiting growing, I got the sterilization process down. So I'm very happy and glad that it seems like the main functions of the farm are functioning, and now it's just a matter of hammering out kinks and then getting production up to like 50 to 100 pounds a week and selling. So that's about it.